Hey. 2023 was probably the least productive year in terms of creating musical content, especially long form videos. I've posted a couple of shorts, but most of it is just me playing live with my bands, and it had phone audio and wasn't like the best quality. Or sometimes I post some of the stuff my friends and people from the audience film. And the reason for that, I'll probably cover in a different video. But a lot of the year, I spent questioning a lot of stuff. And one of those is actually this term of content creator. I'm not very comfortable with this term, and I kind of got me thinking why I think content creation is it's a weird thing. If you watch many of the videos on YouTube that are supposed to guide you or help you to create a successful, not just YouTube career, but even social media career, is that you have to research and look for the things that people want to watch. What kind of format are people consuming the most? And honestly, got me thinking that this is not exactly why I started on YouTube. I started on YouTube because, well, I have a passion for music. I love creative and productive processes. And one thing that I kind of start questioning is this whole algorithm thing. Because, there's no pre produced algorithm. There are some things that can be induced in the algorithm, but in the end, but in the end, whoever dictates the algorithm are the people watching it. I know that I'm not gonna blame the algorithm for my non-successful videos, and I know that I should have been more productive and consistent in my musical creations, either be with music itself or the videos or the playthroughs, etc., etc. I started questioning this, and I started thinking a lot of the stuff that I created, I had other people in mind, or I had what I thought was what the algorithm wanted, or even then what it's supposed to give me, the likes and the shares, or even maybe the viral videos. And I can definitely see how some, if not all, of these videos actually tanked, how I was not at all successful with this approach. And some of the stuff that I made that I really wanted to make for the sake of making it, some of them were successful, some of them weren't. But what reward I got from that was my personal satisfaction, which I think it is what's supposed to be the main motive for you to do anything in life, especially when you think creatively. So, what's the reason behind these clickbaity title? It's not really clickbait because I definitely see this as an end for the way I see this channel and the way I see production as a whole, because there were definitely some times where I had other people's interests in mind, which were not mine. And the end of this era hopefully comes right now. So from now on, my whole idea with this channel and musical production or artistic production in general is to have what I think is the best way to approach it, and what I think is the best way to do it. The problem with this approach, which works very beautifully in theory, is that it may actually become the end of my career as a whole, which arguably some people might say have not really started, but some people might say, yeah, I've done some stuff, and I know I've done some stuff, especially with my previous bands and with some of the content from this channel already. But like I said, maybe what I want is not exactly what the algorithm wants. Even though I'm doing it for myself, will I find in the future that is it worth it doing something that it's not exactly working? It's not exactly reaching people. It's not exactly being successful. Of course, I'm not really worried, well, not entirely about monetizing the channel or making tons of money with my music because I already have a full time job. And this is a year that I came to terms with it. And I'm very happy with where I am and what I'm doing, and with the amount of stuff that I'm doing, and with the amount of time I'm devoting to my full time job, which makes me more mentally healthy and ready with enough energy to pursue other things, which is why I'm really want to focus a lot more in terms of music production, video production, and anything creative from now onwards. I'm not gonna, once again, like I did in my videos, I'm gonna say I'm coming back to producing content because one, really, like, not many people care about what I do or what I don't do, especially in the online world. But I will also stop forcing myself to do those things because one of the reasons why this content creation stops being fun is when you start forcing yourself to do it. I think you really need to push yourself, but when you start forcing yourself, it becomes like an obligation. And like I said, I already have a full-time job, which I don't consider a chore. So if I don't consider my main thing a chore, an obligation, why should artistic creation be one? This is also a different perspective that I wish to pursue from now onwards. The focuses of this video are mainly two. First, to start doing things for myself. I wouldn't say I worry about what people think, but I'm not going to cater, or I'm not going to focus so much on what I think people want. And that to me feels liberating. Basically, this video is a message from past me to future me. Uh, maybe I get sidetracked along the way, I lose focus to why I'm doing this. This first video is supposed to be that. And maybe the second thing is to tell people that they should also try to do that. I started, like I said, reflecting on a lot of stuff that happened in the past year and years before, but especially in 2023. And I see that a lot of people are still driven or are still guided towards this thinking of others, pleasing of others, and most importantly, doing things they think other people would like before thinking about what they're like. And I'm certainly guilty of that. And I'm not completely free from that as of yet. I don't think anybody is 100%. I am definitely less, much less of, let's say, people pleaser as I used to be. And now it's time for me to transfer all this into the realms of artistic creation as a whole. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of me in this type of format. I'll be talking to people a lot more online because from all the creators that I follow and all the people that, regardless of the genre or regardless of the medium, this is something that they all have in common, that they have contact, they reach out, they talk to people, they communicate. And instead of just me showing off how much I can play this or that riff, I want to connect and communicate with people more, because this is something that I think I do pretty well in real life. And maybe it's time for me to start doing that in the online world. And I really hope this process stays fun and stays enjoyable and stays fulfilling, because this is something that I think I had left on the side for a long time. And like I said, especially this year, but it had to be done. I had to get other stuff in order before I wanted to be artistic active again. And I definitely feel that the time has come for me to be back more actively because I feel better, I feel more centered, and I feel this is going to reflect in whatever I do in a positive way. If you reach the end of this video, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys back here very soon. Subscribe, like, and do all that stuff. Thank you, and to all, a good day.